The Chief Minister of Maharashtra to perhaps speak about the veteran who was attacked in Mumbai, which the entire country has been talking about, the pictures which have shocked India. We would have expected the Chief Minister of Maharashtra to also perhaps make a mention of the attack, the unrelenting attack on media freedom, also on the demolition of Kangana's office and all the criticism he's been facing from across the political quarters, from across India, on the handling of these issues that I've just mentioned. Let me go across to Swapnil. Swapnil, you heard the Chief Minister of Maharashtra speaking, silent on key issues. One would have hoped that Uddhav Thackeray would have, taken questions, but no questions were taken. That apart, not a word, not a single word about the attack on the veteran or the role of his party's goons.
Niranjan, that's very sad. Actually, I would have expected the Chief Minister to address these issues directly, one after the other. Speak your mind. Tell whatever it is, whether it's truth, whether it's half-truth, whatever it may be, howsoever you wish to address it. But to address these issues, to put them, under the carpet or not even address them totally is not something which I would have expected out of him, because he's such a frank person otherwise. So I would have loved it had he come out straight out on the issues, admitted certain things, regretted certain things, or maybe would have said that, no, this is my perspective on this is the way it should have been done, or this is the way that should have been done. So, at least we are prepared for a counter answer. Yeah. But yes, you talk about Corona, you talk about farmers, you talk about Maharashtra reservations, those are extremely important issues, no doubt about it, because that was also one of the things when you went into the election campaign. And, the farmers issue was a big issue here, and the Maratha reservation has always been a very vexed issue, Niranjan. But, to keep silent on the issues which are plaguing the state, democracy, the very structure of this state. This is the great state. This is the financial capital of the country. So on this, I would have expected him to have a very, very mature perspective and, say these things. Sometimes maturity says that, okay, best not to address these controversial issues. But in this aspect, especially when your government is being, as you are saying, that it's being defamed, then you please come and please say these things. We are wanting to hear you. You are but a legacy of the great Balasaheb Thackeray. So we would expect that you come out and speak the way he used to come out openly. And even Uddhav Thackeray has been quite open on several issues earlier. So I would have really wanted that he would come out openly and talk on issues. And then, yes, of course, face questions or face whatever it is. But that's okay. That's, he would take it in his stride because he's the Chief Minister. So he knows that if I'm going to say something, then I'm going to expect, disagreements or agreements on certain things. But, especially on Kangana's house demolition, the veteran attack, and also on Sushant Singh Rajput's case, where the administrative agency of the state is not doing its job appropriately, you need to talk about it. It is very, very imperative that you talk as the Chief Minister, because according to me, that is the best way to run a government. That is my opinion, and I would have wanted him to speak on it. But these are important issues that he's spoken on. I'm happy with it that he's spoken. But, on these issues also, I would have wanted him, especially because it is his party, it is him and it is his state which is being, attacked. And as a proud Mumbaikar myself, as a proud Maharashtrian living in Maharashtra, I am very, 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 very anxious to know what the Chief Minister of my state has to say. Even though I'm a Gujarati, I need the Maharashtrian and a significant part of Maharashtra, I need to know what my Chief Minister has to say on these issues. These are important to me.
Yeah, but sadly, none of those issues were addressed. Atul Bhatkalkar, you heard the Chief Minister spoke about two issues: COVID, which is completely out of hand now, and secondly, the Maratha reservation issue, which is receiving flack for. Yeah. Silent on the veteran issue, silent on the attack on the media freedom, silent on attempt to black out media houses, silent on the demolition of Kangana's office, silent on the criticism that his government is facing from across India, and silent also on the Sushant Singh Rajput case and the handling of the Mumbai police, silent on the Mumbai police as well. We would have expected that the Chief Minister in this urgent news conference would have spoken about some of these issues.
No, in fact, to be frankly and honest, I myself did not expect anything from this Chief Minister's speech, because if you've gone through his last 6 months so-called Facebook Live, there is nothing but plethora of works, no action on ground. And the issues which you are raised, these all issues is being handled by himself. And these all incidents took place because of his blessings only. So don't expect from this chief minister that he will talk anything regarding Kangana Ranaut's house demolition. I am not in fool's paradise that corporation officer can do this without a direct instruction from chief minister. They must have done because of there is a direct instruction from chief minister. Same thing with Sushant Singh Rajput case. There is a clear-cut direct instructions from chief minister to the CP of Mumbai. Don't meddle in this case. Keep on inquiry in inquest. Don't register FIR. So it is a totally political speech, and he is trying to divert attention of people of Maharashtra on other issues, not even on his biggest failure on Corona. And what about the Gundagardi? Not only about the Gundagardi which took place in my constituency 2 days before. Today his chief spokesperson Sanjay Raut has issued a statement that the natural reaction is bound to be there. And so these are the shameless people. They are running Hitler-Shahi. They are not running the state government through democratic ways. And at the end of the speech, there was a veiled threat to the political parties. Right now, I have a mask of chief minister. But when I will speak in coming days, I will remove that mask of chief minister and I will speak about politics. Let me tell you to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray through this program. In fact, you have taken only mask of politician. By heart also you are a politician. You are never working as a chief minister of the Maharashtra. To work as a chief minister of any state means for you 13 crore people are equal. You should keep in mind interest of the common man. But the thing he has never kept in mind in last 9 months, the only motive is to keep my chair intact. That is the only motive.
Yeah.
So in fact, now time has come to remove this political mask under the guise of chief minister.
I want to get in Major General J.D. Bakshi, because we would have expected General J.D. Bakshi. You know, veteran Madan Sharma has been speaking about this entire issue. And, veteran Madan Sharma has been asking the Chief Minister, literally begging the Chief Minister to take, to do something about the security of his family. They've received threats. And General Bakshi, you were there when we showed those pictures of the attack, the brutal attack on a veteran. And we would have expected the Chief Minister of the state to say a word, perhaps condemn. But nothing. Nothing, General Bakshi.
You know, that is what is extremely disturbing. The simple fact is that there was an attack on a veteran, a 62-year-old, white-haired, senior citizen. I mean, on both counts, it is deplorable. It is dastardly to attack an old man with white hair, a person who served this country loyally on the high seas, under the seas, in the waves. He stood guard for you. He stood guard for the people of Mumbai, for the people of India. And this is what you do to him. At least we did not expect it from a party which claims to be stridently nationalist, stridently pro-armed forces. You know, and coming from them, it is a double whammy, it's a double shock. And we were expecting that the Chief Minister would be at pains to distance himself and his party from this dastardly attack on a senior citizen. On a senior citizen. You know, you are known by the enemies you have, or you consider as enemies. You consider old people old soldiers as your enemies and you attack them in this brutal fashion, in this Gundaish fashion. I at least expected contrition. I at least expected an apology. I at least expected that he would make recompense to this soldier and not, get involved in personal vendettas. When you become a government functionary, when you run a state government of a state as important, as critical, as vital as Maharashtra, which has the financial capital of India within its boundaries, which is the cultural, the whole cultural revival of India in Hinduism came from Maharashtra. And here, if you, give an impression that as a democratically elected leader, you have such a thin hide that you cannot accept criticism of any sort, I'm afraid that is not the democratic ethos on which you were elected. You draw your strength from the people.
Yeah.
Your party cannot treat those people as, absolute chattel. You cannot treat those people and their lives and their property and their izzat as worthless. I'm sorry, you are not the only people with izzat. There are those veterans, there are those senior citizens. And in India, age has always been respected. If you claim to value the Hindu ethos, then you will respect age and wisdom. And moreover, when that man is a military veteran who served this country, who saved you, who spent his life away from his family on the high seas so that you and I could sleep in peace, you beat him up like this, send goons to beat him up, and then there is not a word of apology. There is not a word of contrition. I'm sorry, there is something that is going seriously wrong. And now one has to say it. This is, you are murdering democracy. Democracy is based on the right to dissent, on the right to disagree. You cannot, sit back calmly when people are being killed and their deaths are being passed off as suicides. You cannot sit back calmly when people who dissent have their houses broken. People who share a meme or a cartoon about you have their eyes bashed out. I'm sorry, you can't murder the third pillar of democracy, which is the free press, the expression of free opinion. That is what democracy is based on. And I'm sorry, you are endangering a system of democratic values. And I'm sorry, it has to be now said absolutely frankly. You are destroying the rule of law. You cannot, disrupt the rule of law. You are supposed to maintain it, uphold the democratic values that you were elected to defend.
General Bakshi, he did of course make a mention that
the dignity of each citizen is important.
Yeah, agree with you. And Savio, I'd like to go across to Savio. He started off by saying my silence is not my weakness. That's when we expected that he would actually break his silence and speak out. He said silence is not my weakness. Then he should have broken the silence. We perhaps hoped that in the 40-minute speech that was given, he would break his silence on the attack on veteran Madan Sharma, the attack on media freedom, the attack on Kangana. But he of course ended by saying, I will handle the political storm.
Niranjan, let me put in perspective my entire analysis of what he said. He spent almost 92% of his talk on the coronavirus and the pandemic situation in Maharashtra. It is a grave situation, yes, but what he's misunderstanding the entire issue is that it's not about a panic. It's about a precautionary measure that people all across India must take. Are the cases rising? Yes. Are the active cases low? Yes. Is recovery high? Yes. So we are not in a state of panic, number one. Number two, the economic situation is all over the world. We have to work together. Governments, people must work together to take the economy to move forward. The most important thing of this entire speech of his was to deflect from the real questions that the people of India, the people of Maharashtra are asking Uddhav Thackeray. What are you afraid of, Uddhav Thackeray? That you have unleashed a fascist regime in Maharashtra right now. You demolish the house of an actress who dissents against what you think is right. You arrest unlawfully and illegally a reporter who's questioning the competence of your government. And your goons, cowards, attack a Navy veteran, beat him, kick him, punch him. A man whose service and sacrificed his life for the nation. What have you done, Uddhav Thackeray, to contribute towards the country? What has any of your goons, those Shaka Pramukh cowards, do for the country? Did they serve the country? Shiv Sena, after the attack on the Navy veteran, is not a political party of men. It's a political party of cowards. When you attack a senior citizen in a mob, you are basically showing your impotency. Uddhav Thackeray cannot answer these questions, Niranjan, because of these very questions raise a question mark on him.
Okay. Yeah, there
On
are some
his competency.
Sabi, there are
What are you afraid of, Uddhav Thackeray?
We're getting in some responses. In fact, in a short while from now, Kangana will be visiting the governor's residence. That's around 4 p.m. I'd like to play out the sound bites. In fact,